both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will win.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of the biggest fights of the year so far, you know, and it's a big challenge. That's what I'm always chasing, the tough challenges. Yeah, I'm just excited to go out there, perform for my team, perform for my country, and put on a good show and retain the belt.
With UFC 322 just a few days away, anticipation is building and everyone is waiting to see how the main event unfolds. JDM is looking like a real challenge for Islam, but Khamzat Chimaev has ruled out such concerns and backs Islam to get his second UFC belt. Jack Della Maddalena also admits that it won't be an easy fight and describes Islam Makhachev as a well-rounded fighter with strong striking, capable of throwing elbows, knees, kicks, and punches with real power from the southpaw stance. He makes it clear that he doesn't view Islam as only a grappler, recognizing him as one of the best martial artists in the world and a tough opponent everywhere. Despite that, Jack believes he holds the advantage on the feet if he makes the right choices during the fight.
When it comes to the striking of Islam Makhachev, I saw an interview with you and Style Bender, where you said you would rate it above Khabib. In general, how would you rank his stand-up if it were to stay on the feet?
I think he's got good stand-up. He's a well-rounded. He throws it all: elbows, knees, kicks, punches. He's got power, southpaw. It's a tough fight, you know. I definitely don't look at him as just a grappler. And yeah, the fight isn't just keeping it on the feet and it's going to be easy. The fight is pretty much, the whole fight, it's a tough fight. One of the best martial artists in the world, you know, so there's no, I don't look at him as just a grappler. I think his strength is obviously in the grappling, but it's still a tough fight on the feet and I've got to make the right decisions. But I think I've got the upper hand on the feet.
Jack Della Maddalena aims to keep the fight on the feet and look for a finish. He expects Islam to attempt several takedowns, but plans to get back up each round, land precise strikes to break him down, and ultimately secure a stoppage. Jack Della Maddalena said, "I see it going similar to the Bilal fight. Islam will try a few more takedowns, but I believe I'll be able to get back to my feet every round and sting him on the feet, damage him, break him, and then finish him. That would be the dream, to get a finish at MSG and blow the roof off the place." Meanwhile, middleweight champion Khamzat Chimaev expects Islam Makhachev to come out on top against Jack Della Maddalena at UFC 322. He finds the fight exciting, particularly with Islam moving up in weight, and predicts Makhachev will rely on his wrestling to dictate the pace. Chimaev believes Islam's grappling will gradually neutralize Jack's striking as the fight goes on.
Jack or Islam? Well, Islam will get the and Jack will get it. My asking he coach brother wait what he gonna say, we'll see. Your opinions?
10% od svog Madalenos.
O, Islam duplo je zvar. Coach says 55% Madalena, 45 Islam, but I think Islam will see. Both good fighters. Islam moving up, it's interesting to see what's he gonna do. But I think Islam will be more, he gonna use his wrestling more in this fight.
Neil Magny believes Jack Della Maddalena enters the fight with a strong chance of winning. He highlights Jack's ability to neutralize wrestling, pointing to his performance against Bilal Muhammad as proof. Magny emphasizes that while many automatically assume Islam Makhachev's success mirrors Khabib's, the two fighters are very different. He feels Jack has the right tools to surprise many fans and potentially come out on top.
Feel on this fight? Like, do you have a good feeling on who you think might win this one?
Yeah, I mean, this is my unbiased opinion. I'm not just saying this because I'm in Australia, but I feel like JDM has a really good chance going into this fight. I mean, he's definitely proven himself being able to shut down the wrestling in his fight against Bilal Muhammad here most recently. And I think he's going to go out there and really shock a lot of people. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't giving him credit. You're accustomed to seeing guys like Islam win, and you're accustomed to associating his success with Khabib's success. But at the end of the day, those guys are two completely different fighters, and I think JDM definitely has the tools to go out there and shock a lot of people and beat Islam.
Luke Thomas believes the key for Jack Della Maddalena to overcome Islam Makhachev lies in takedown defense and controlling back exposure. He thinks that if the fight stays mostly standing, Islam will face serious challenges. While acknowledging Islam's striking skills, Thomas points out that Jack's ability, combined with the move up in weight, gives him a clear advantage in a predominantly striking battle.
What do you actually feel like is going to be the X factor here for JDM to be able to beat someone as accomplished and difficult as Islam Makhachev here?
Back exposure and takedown defense and wrestling up, period. I mean, it just doesn't seem very difficult for me to think that if this fight is a striking contest predominantly, Islam's going to have real problems. Islam is not a striker by any stretch of the imagination. I think everyone would agree, but he's not JDM. And again, up a weight class too, not just in terms of pure ability, but how that leverages up a weight class. If he can make this a striking contest, then, you know, predominantly, not exclusively, of course, but predominantly, then I feel like it's his fight to lose, to be honest with you.
Luke Thomas explains that Jack Della Maddalena must avoid takedowns and prevent giving up his back to have a real chance at winning. He adds that if Jack does get taken down, he needs to quickly get back up without leaving openings for submissions. Thomas emphasizes that controlling wrestling exchanges and back exposure, combined with effective striking, will be crucial for Jack to secure victory.
But, you know, if he's constantly getting taken down, if he is being held down, if he is giving up back exposure, even then he might be able to find ways to win, but it makes the job radically more difficult. This is, if you're going to get first of all, don't get taken down. And if you're going to get taken down, don't create back exposure and wrestle up quickly without creating submission opportunities. Like, that is the name of the game, in addition to how you set that up with your striking. But that wrestling up, back exposure, takedowns, he cannot have that be a significant part of this fight and I think win.
Luke Thomas shares a striking story about Islam Makhachev sparring with middleweight Punahele Soriano. He recalls that Soriano, a full 185-pounder, was overwhelmed during a 2-hour session, unable to land anything or gain control. Thomas emphasizes just how dominant Islam was, leaving Soriano stunned and unable to match his skill.
So it was funny. He was saying one time, this was during the pandemic, he was rolling up to Extreme Couture and he had no one to train with for whatever time. And he called up Ali and he's like, I got no one to train with. They're like, oh yeah, we'll send Islam to go. And he was Soriano at the time was a full 85er. And he said Makhachev murdered him for 2 hours. He couldn't do anything to him. He was like, I'm an 85er and this guy's a 55er. I can't do this guy. You know, and you're hearing I've just noticed there's a lot of that happening.
Furthermore, Din Thomas shares that Islam Makhachev must secure an early finish to stay ahead of Craig Jones's specialized game. He thinks taking the fight to the ground quickly and exploiting openings before Jones can settle in is the key to gaining the advantage.
Well, I think that Islam's best chances are going to be really, really early. And I said it, if he can get him down early. Now, the Craig Jones element is a hack. It is a cheat code. Now, if you can get a man down early and just finish him before he gets started on his cheat codes, problem solved. If I'm Islam, you got to try to catch this man, because Jack's not the great, like, he wasn't like the greatest grappler prior, right? Like, he doesn't come from like a grappling background. Like, he's competent, but if you can catch him early and get him to make a mistake early and then just never let him out, never let him get to his cheat code, that's where Islam's going to excel.
However, Robert Whitaker expects a difficult matchup for Jack Della Maddalena, but remains confident in his ability to rise to the occasion. He admires Jack's drive and competitive spirit, describing him as someone who thrives in tough situations and finds ways to overcome the odds, much like he has against other top contenders in the past.
I don't think it'll be an easy fight for Jack, but I believe in Jack. I think he's got that X factor. He's got that hunger there. You know, he's got the ticker. And, you know, just like with Bilal, just like with Burns before, I think he can do the impossible.
Eugene Behrman expressed full support for Jack Della Maddalena, noting that he represents their part of the world. He pointed out that Islam Makhachev isn't invincible, referencing both his past knockout loss and Alexander Volkanovski's performance against him as proof that a path to victory exists. Behrman acknowledged that some fans might disagree with that take, but he maintained that there's already a clear blueprint to defeat Makhachev.
What is your feel on this one? And also, what do you think of the odds, man? Islam very heavy favorite going into this one.
Okay, I mean, I was obviously backing Jack. Like, Jack's, he's one of the boys from our neighborhood, so he's from our side of the world. And look, look, Islam. There's a blueprint for beating Islam. He's been knocked out before, and Volk's beaten him already. You know what I'm saying? people going to come in the comments about that.
Eugene Behrman explained that while countering Islam Makhachev's wrestling is difficult, there are patterns that can be exploited. He noted that Islam excels at landing single, precise strikes, but his weaknesses appear when he's forced into prolonged exchanges. According to Behrman, making Islam throw multiple combinations under pressure exposes openings that disciplined strikers like Jack Della Maddalena can capitalize on.
But yeah, there's a bit of a blueprint out there. Look, if you can, obviously it's a difficult thing to counter the wrestling, but Islam, you know, you'll find holes. What you have to do with Islam is you have to get him. He's very good at throwing one shot. He can pick you off and throw one shot very well. But you need to put Islam in a position where he has to fight to win the round, and that means he has to put 2 and 3 punches together. His vulnerabilities come when he has to fight with you and put 2 or 3 punches together. That's when the holes start appearing, and that's because you just, you know, like, yeah, you're a wrestler. Like at a high level, the holes start really appearing when there's a lot of pressure, and you have to put 2 or 3 punches together to hang with the other person. And that's where Jack will find the vulnerabilities, but they know that, bro. They're a very smart team, and yeah, it's a very interesting fight.
Meanwhile, Stephen Thompson finds the matchup hard to predict, noting that moving up to welterweight presents major physical challenges. He explains that fighters at 170 often cut down from over 200 pounds, which could make things difficult for Islam Makhachev despite his own solid frame. Thompson thinks Islam's grappling skill gives him a chance, but he also points out that Jack Della Maddalena has already faced elite wrestlers in the division, making this a demanding test for both men.
I don't know, man. I mean, when you're going up to the welterweight division, those are some big boys. And I know Islam Makhachev walks around fairly heavy, but a lot of these 170s, they walk around real heavy. I'm talking about, you know, over 205, 210 into 215. Some of the guys that I faced would walk around at that weight. I mean, I think like the height, I think they might be the same height. I think JDM might be a little taller, but when it comes to those guys and their strength, Islam, I think, is going to have a tough time. Now, do I think he could get it done? Yes. I think he's that good of a grappler. But like I said, JDM has faced some of the best welterweight grapplers and wrestlers in the division, Bilal being one of them. I think it's going to be a tough night for him.
Moreover, Michael Bisping highlights Islam Makhachev's achievement of 4 consecutive lightweight title defenses, exceeding the records of all prior champions. He praises Islam's courageous choice to move up in weight, seeing it as a testament to his champion mentality. Bisping points out that performing on iconic stages like Madison Square Garden is a dream for fighters, and Islam has earned it. He adds that whenever Makhachev eventually retires, he can do so confidently, having faced and conquered the best in the sport.
I think I'm right in saying this, the most successful lightweight ever, defended the belt 4 times.
Yep.
The record previously was 3, you know, so that's phenomenal. And we all know about the lightweight division and how stacked that is. I mean, he's defended the belt 4 times. You know, he's, from what I understand, quite a simple man, you know, so, you know, be great, step up to another weight class, take out someone else, you know, Madison Square Garden. These are the moments that as a fighter we live for, these kind of super fight moments, you know. Of course, you know, he's making a tremendous living. He doesn't want to do this forever, and he can go back to his farm in Dagestan and he can live a nice, simple life and know that he's been there, done that, and tested himself. That's what we want to do as fighters.
Michael Bisping applauds Islam Makhachev for moving up to welterweight, describing him as the most successful lightweight in UFC history. He respects that Islam avoided easy title defenses and instead challenged himself against larger, stronger fighters. Bisping views the decision as a sign of true championship ambition, showing that Makhachev seeks to leave a legacy in a second division rather than simply dominate one.
And this is why I respect Islam doing it now, when he's defended the belt 4 times. He's defended the belt 4 times, the lightweight division. He's kind of gone through all the big stars there. Okay, let's go up to welterweight. Let's try something new. Let's try and do something that's never been done. Whereas a lot of the time we see fighters, they instantly become the champ and they want to defend, they want to challenge for another belt in another weight class because there's no risk there. There's no risk. If you lose, you're still the champ at 155 or whatever weight class it is. He's done it. He's defended the belt 4 times. He's proven that he was the legitimate best fighter at 155 pounds on planet Earth. And he's done that 5 times, won the belt, and then defended it 4 times. And now he said, right, I've done that. I've clearly proven that at 155 I'm the man. Let's see if I can do it at 170. It's incredible.
On the other hand, JDM's coach Ben Vickers expressed full confidence in Jack Della Maddalena's finishing power, noting that one clean shot could end the fight at any moment. He emphasized that Jack doesn't rush for a knockout and enjoys being in long, competitive battles, but he's always ready to capitalize if an opening appears. Vickers praised Jack's endurance, recalling how he managed to outlast Bilal Muhammad, who's known for his stamina. He described Jack's mix of conditioning and power as a dangerous combination and stated that he's genuinely excited about this matchup.
It's a situation where this is going to be an eventual down the line, like 3rd, 4th round. Or do you think people might even be shocked to see it happen earlier on?
We know for a fact if Jack clips someone clean on the chin, they can go over. So it could happen in the 1st minute, it could happen in the 24th minute, it could happen in the 24-minute 59 seconds, it could happen 3 rounds in. Jack likes long fights, he likes to be in there, but obviously we're not getting paid for overtime. So if the opportunity arises, we're happy to take it. But Jack's cardio, as we saw, Bilal's reputedly the best cardio in the UFC, and Jack out cardioed him. Bilal was more tired than Jack towards the end of the fight. So Jack's cardio is exceptional, his power is exceptional, and yeah, I like the fight. I really do.
However, Islam's coach, Javier Mendez, warned that underestimating Islam Makhachev would be a serious mistake, stressing that the reality inside the cage is far different from what opponents expect. He explained that after more than a decade of training with Makhachev, he's watched him dominate strikers who were considered technically superior on the feet. Mendez made it clear that no fighter relying purely on striking would find the matchup easy, insisting that Makhachev's stand-up abilities are far more dangerous than most realize once they face him firsthand.
For his stand-up, do you feel like people are kind of missing some of the X factors that Islam brings with his striking?
If he's saying that, I hope that he goes in believing that, because when he gets in there with Islam, you're going to find out a whole different story, because I'm sorry, they're completely different. And by no means is Islam an easy for anybody on the stand-up. No, any MMA fighter that's a striker, that's not going to have an easy time with him. I've been with this kid like going on 11 years of watching him just destroy everybody on the stand-up, guys that are much better stand-up than him, and he still destroys them. So no. Don't go by what you see. When you get in there with that man, it's a whole different ballgame.
On the other hand, Nick Banhill finds the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Jack Della Maddalena especially interesting. He highlights that Jack's reach and striking style create challenges Islam doesn't often face. While acknowledging Makhachev as one of the most complete fighters in MMA, Banhill notes that longer, precise strikers have given him trouble before, making this fight particularly compelling.
From a technical side, this fight is intriguing because what we're seeing out of Jack Della Maddalena is a totally different style of fighting and body type than what we've seen Islam compete against at 155. Yeah. Now, Jack is a very high level striker, and we've seen him have a ton of success at 170 against other great strikers and grapplers, but nobody at Islam Makhachev's level. Now, skill for skill, most people still have Islam Makhachev as the most well-rounded fighter in the UFC. But this style versus style is very intriguing because Islam has had trouble against rangy strikers, people who can extend their punches and find his target at the end of his strikes.
Nick Banhill thinks Jack Della Maddalena will come out aggressively, but Islam Makhachev's approach will largely shape how the fight unfolds. He notes that Islam typically sticks to his strengths, focusing on takedowns, control, and ground attacks instead of relying solely on striking. Banhill adds that Makhachev will still use precise punches and kicks to maintain distance, similar to his strategy in the Volkanovski rematch.
How Islam approaches this fight camp is going to dictate where this fight takes place. Islam is not like most guys where once they start finding knockouts or once they start having a lot of success with their feet, they wind up becoming knockout artists. Islam still knows his best way to win this fight is by taking Jack to the ground and cooking him, and then basically finding a submission or some ground and pound. I don't see Islam going out there trying to just strike with the high-level striker, but I also don't see him selling out for a takedown. I think Islam's going to go out there and be measured the way we saw him against Volk in the second fight. He's going to stay on the outside. He's going to look to strike and throw some kicks.
That's all for today's video. How do you see this matchup playing out? Drop your predictions in the comments below. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more amazing videos.